Hello athletes and welcome to the 2015 USA Triathlon Duathlon National Championships pre-race briefing. My name is Matt Rieger. I'm the National Events Manager for USA Triathlon. I will be the race director for this event. Throughout this race briefing, we'll just go over some key items, course logistics, and things of that nature, and make sure you guys are well informed for race day. Just to give you a little background, the race venue will take place at Harriet Island Regional Park in St. Paul, Minnesota. St. Paul was recently named the most bicycle-friendly city in the country. They have over 620 miles of paved trail system and a plethora of state parks and open spaces for recreational activities. The host hotel will be the Embassy Suites in downtown St. Paul. It's located at 175 East 10th Street, about 8 miles from the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. There'll be parking there, and it is $15 a night, and it is in a covered lot. You will also receive a passport card for certain discounts throughout the city when you check into that hotel. And then just a note for this year's race, there will be a chip start this year instead of a gun start like last year, so please note that moving forward. And first off, we'll start with the schedule of events. On Friday, 5th, we have the Packet Pickup and Expo from 9 to 4 at Harriet Island. This is at the pavilion located right in Harriet Island. It's a big brown building. There is parking on site for this, so you'll be able to drive up that day and park either on the north or south side of Harriet Island. On Friday, June 5th, there is also the rules briefing at 2 p.m. at the Crown Plaza Riverfront in the Minnesota Ballroom. Please note that this is different from the host hotel. It is not at the embassy. Next, moving forward into Saturday race day, transition opens at 5:30, and this is for mandatory bike check-in for all athletes, both standard and sprint distance. 7:25, transition will close. All athletes will be ushered out and required to leave the area. And then at 7:30, we will start the race with our elite men and women division. We'll have approximately 6 elite athletes going off, competing in the standard distance, doing the same exact course. Non-draft rules will apply to them as well. Between 7:40 and 8:30, we will have all the standard distance waves going off. And then at 10:55, the bike course will close for the standard distance. And then at that time, transition will open for the sprint distance as well, for those athletes to come in and bring their necessary gear in. Moving forward, the transition for sprint distance will close at 11:50. At this time, all the sprint distance athletes will be ushered out and will be required to move over to the start line. At 11:55, the first sprint distance wave will go off, the National Championship men, and then at 12 p.m., National Championship women will go off. At 12:05, we'll have our final wave, which will be the para-duathlon. We'll have anywhere between 1 and 4 para-athletes going off. They will be doing the same exact course, so just keep this in mind as if you see any hand cycles or anything like that out on the course. At 1:40, the bike course will close for the sprint distance, and at that time, bike checkout will proceed for all athletes, both standard and sprint distance. At 2:10, the course will close for the sprint distance, and at that time, the race will be completed. And after this, we'll have 2 meetings take place offsite, the Duathlon Town Hall meeting and the award ceremony, both taking place at the St. Paul River Center Exhibit Hall. The Town Hall meeting is an opportunity to discuss what is happening in the duathlon community, and an opportunity for you as an athlete to voice your opinion and any concerns you may have. Then next after that, at the same location, will be the award ceremony. This will be at 175 West Kellogg Boulevard. And this is in the St. Paul River Center. It will be downstairs from when you'll enter on the road entrance, and then you'll proceed down an escalator, and we will have the necessary signage and things like that to direct you to the right venue. Next, we'll go over packet pickup procedures. Like I said before, packet pickup will be on Friday, June 5th at the Harriet Island Pavilion. It'll be from 9 to 4 that day, and that'll coincide with the expo on site as well. This is required for all athletes. You will have your photo ID or USAT membership card, basically your proof of membership. You can print it out or use our mobile app as well, or bring your hard plastic card to prove that as well. Also, like I said before, parking will be on site, both on the north and south side of the venue. Race day parking information. On Saturday, June 6th, all athletes are encouraged to ride or walk to the venue. Roads will begin to close at 5:15 a.m. However, there will still be parking at the following address below. And there's also a map that shows this site on our website as well, in the Duathlon info tab on our website. It's approximately 2 blocks from the venue, so about a 4 to 5 minute walk over to the venue if you are to park on that. Next, we'll talk about body marking and sticker placement. All the stickers and body markings that you will get will be on the bib sheet that's shown on the slide right here. First off, you'll have 3 total that'll go on your helmet. You'll have 1 on the front and then 2 on the sides that you'll place on your helmet. And then for your body, for the run, you'll need to have at least 1 on the front of your race belt for the run, and then you can adhere 2 body stickers together to put on the race belt. It's not necessary for the back of your bike. And then the body marking and sticker placement for your seat post. So you can wrap it around the seat post or the brake calipers on your bike to display your number for the officials and anyone else that may need to see that. We do not have any stickers or numbers for a bag check at this event. You'll still be allowed to bring a bag into transition to lay out your gear and things like that, but there'll be no number necessary like shown in the picture. So it's just for the seat post. And then finally, tattoos for your body. Placement of these, so you'll be required for 2 tattoos on the outside of your bicep on each arm, like shown in the image, and then outside of each leg on your calf. If for some reason the tattoos aren't working the night of or anything like that, we will have backup Sharpies to write on you during bike check-in, but you will be provided with tattoos at packet pickup, so please be sure to use these. And then we'll also have wipes, antibacterial wipes at the finish line for you to take these tattoos off when you're done with the race. Moving forward, so the rules briefing. Head referee is Brian Watkins. Him and his staff will be available Friday, June 5th at 2 p.m. At the rules briefing to go over any official concerns, concerns that you as an athlete may have, and all course logistics and safety concerns and things of that nature. USA 2 rules will be enforced. And again, this is at 2 p.m. at the Crown Plaza Riverfront in the Minnesota Ballroom. So for race morning, bike check-in will be starting at 5:30 for all athletes, both standard and sprint. Standard transition opens at 5:30 to 7:25, and then sprint transition reopens from 10:55 to 11:50. So the sprint athletes coming in that morning, you have to get up early, check in your bike, and then you'll be allowed to come back for an hour midday after the standard distance race to move around your gear and finalize anything that you may need for the race. Parking, all athletes are encouraged to ride versus drive to the venue, but like I had said before, there is parking available approximately 2 blocks away, and you can check out that map on our website. Only small bags will be allowed in transition for all athletes to bring their gear in. You cannot leave any bags in transition, but you can bring a small bag in to carry anything necessary into transition, and then just be sure to carry it back out. Bike support will be once again provided by Gear West. On race day, and there will also be a packet pickup on Friday, and then on race day it'll be next to transition. There will not be any bike support at the hotel, and then on race day, for as far as support on the bike course, they'll have a rider on course with spare tubes, tools, and things of that nature to help anyone who may have problems on the bike course. And then one of our bike course coordinators will be running SAG for any riders that are needing a ride back to the venue. So race distances for both standard and sprint are shown here. It's a 5K for both runs for the standard, and then a 34.5K bike, 3 laps. That'll be 11.5K for each lap. And then for the sprint, it's a 2.5K run for each run, and then a 23K bike, 2 laps on the bike course 11.5K each lap. Just as a general note, all course maps and race distances that I'll go over here in the next few slides are available online for your viewing. So first up is the standard run course. It's a 2-lap course. Run 1 will be a 5K and run 2 will both be a 5K. They'll be the same exact course. The only difference will be, as I'll show in the next slide, is where you split off on the second run to go to the finish line as opposed to going back to transition. It's a scenic waterfront course right along the Mississippi River with sweeping views of downtown St. Paul. The running lanes are all closed to traffic. Just be sure that you stay inside the cones, and we as a race staff will obviously have everything well marked and coned off for you guys for safety. There'll be 2 aid stations with Gatorade and water available approximately every mile, and then also volunteers and police on the course to direct you and make sure that all safety concerns are taken care of. And then just note that some intersections will be controlled by police. So here's the run course for the standard distance. You'll start right here, and there'll be a big red tier inflatable arch denoting where the start is at, similar to last year if any athletes were at the race last year. So you can start and continue down the Harriet Island pathway all the way, and you'll go under the Wabasha Street Bridge, where you'll come back out, and then you'll have a turnaround at this point and continue back under the bridge out and around Raspberry Island, like so, and then back under the bridge and take a left here to proceed to your second lap. At this point where the cursor is, there'll be the correct signage to let you know that you'll be taking a left to go on your second lap, or if you are done with your second lap, to take a right to go back to transition. You'll complete your second lap by following this dotted line and going under a small bridge here, and then coming back up and meeting up with the original course. So that will be for the first run. The second run is the same exact course. The only difference will be is when you're done with your second lap on your second run. At this point where the cursor is, instead of going left back to either your second lap or transition, you'll proceed straight to the finish line, which will be located right where the cursor is at right now. Next up is the bike course for the standard distance. It's a 3-lap course, 34.5 kilometers total. Please stay between the cones. All roads are not fully closed. There's no bottle exchange on the course. USAT officials will be on course with motorcycles riding around, so please be aware of them. And then the dismount line will be located before entering transition and identified with a red line and a large bike dismount red arch. Just note, please be extremely cautious when going from laps 1 to 2 to 3, as you'll be merging with other bikers, and there'll also be 2 lanes created at this point and a volunteer directing people on where to go. Okay, here's a map of the standard bike course, and on this one I'll take it through with you guys step by step, just so you're aware of the different turns and different road closures and things of that nature on the course. Just as a general note, all necessary intersections will be controlled by police, and then traffic will cross the course on Highway 13 at officers' discretion. So there will be 2 or 3 controlled crossings on Highway 13 that the officers will monitor and let car traffic through when it is safe. So starting out at transition, once you come out of transition, you'll turn onto Dr. Justice Ohagi Boulevard. And then next, you'll proceed, take a left onto Plato Boulevard, which will be a full closure. And you'll come down, you'll take a right onto Ohio Street, which will also be a full closure. Please note that about a quarter mile into Ohio Street, you'll start a steep ascent. Gains about 111 feet. There's a 7% grade on this, and it goes around a pretty steep curve right here. So just note that going in. After you come up to Ohio Street and get to the top of that hill, you'll take a right onto George Street, which is also a full closure. After you proceed down George Street, you'll take a left onto Cherokee Heights Boulevard, which is also a full closure. You'll proceed on Cherokee Heights Boulevard until Annapolis Street, where Cherokee Heights Boulevard turns into Highway 13, which will be a partial closure. Please, bikers, note that you'll be riding in the left-hand lane and traffic may be driving in the right-hand lane. The course will be separated with coning and delineated by all the officers for all necessary safety precautions. Please also note that once you start to proceed on Highway 13, there'll be a very steep descent. As you continue down this highway, we will have all the necessary signage and warning signs for this descent, but please make yourself aware of that going into it. You'll continue all the way down Highway 13 until you'll take a left onto Willydale Road. Please note that this as well is a very steep descent once you take a left here, and it's also a very sharp curve. So you just need to make yourself aware of that. Exercise extreme caution when going down this hill, and keep yourself on the inner part of that circle as traffic will be proceeding on the outer part of that circle. And then once you are on Willydale Road, you'll take this all the way back to Plato Boulevard for the next lap or to enter back to transition. Next up is the run course for the sprint. This is the same exact course as the standard distance. It's just one lap as opposed to two, so 2.5K. Running lanes are closed to all traffic. Please again stay inside the cones. We have 2 aid stations that will have Gatorade and water, and then we'll have an aid station approximately every mile on the course, and then all necessary volunteers and police will be on the course. So the sprint course will once again start at the same red tier arch as I mentioned before, and it will proceed down the Harriet Island pathway under the Wabasha Street Bridge, where you'll have a turnaround and proceed back under the bridge, out onto Raspberry Island, and then back around under the bridge, and then up to the next pathway where you'll take a left to proceed back to transition. And at this point, like I mentioned on the standard distance where you could take a left to go on your second lap, there will not be that option and you'll proceed straight back into transition, like so. For the second run, there'll be the correct signage at this point right here, where you will say either take a left to proceed back to transition or straight to go to the finish line. Obviously on your second run, when you're done with your last lap, you will proceed straight to go to the finish line. For the sprint bike course, this is a 2-lap course instead of a 3-lap course at 23K. Please stay between all the cones. All the roads will not be fully closed. There is no bottle exchange, as I noted before, and then same as the standard bike course, USAT officials will be on the course with motorcycles, and then the dismount line will be noted in its correct location. So the sprint bike course, this will be the same exact turn-by-turn and course as the standard distance. The only difference being that for the sprint you will do 2 laps, and for the standard you did 3. So please refer to page 15 for all of the necessary turn-by-turn information and course information. Aid stations, as I said before, will be approximately every mile on the run course. be stocked with Gatorade and water and ice. We'll have all the necessary volunteers handing that out, and will be properly marked on the course. Again, there is no bottle exchange on the bike course. General information for transition. Mount and dismount lines will be clearly marked. The mount and dismount lines will both have a red taped line on the ground, and then the dismount line will actually have a large red bike dismount arch that marks that out as well. Bike racks will be individually numbered, so if you could please rack by your seat. So your front wheel should be out in front of your race number. So anyone walking by should be able to look at the bike rack, and right under your seat should be able to see your bike rack number. As I mentioned before, only small bags are allowed in transition. You can bring them in with all your necessary gear and drop everything off, but you will be required to bring them back out. Officials will be there the morning of bike check-in just to answer any general questions and make sure that all bikes are being racked appropriately and things of that nature. The standard and sprint bike checkout will begin at approximately 1:40 p.m. When the sprint bike course closes. Here's an overall map of the venue and transition area. Just a couple of notes, like I had said before, when you are completing your last laps on the run, where you could come back down to this point to either proceed back to transition or proceed on your second lap. When you're going to the finish, you'll proceed from this point and down to the finish line, where there'll be all the appropriate medical areas and finisher medals and things of that nature. For bike check-in, bike check-out, that'll be located on the north side or the right side of transition, where this yellow dotted line is. Hard barricades will outline these lines, and there'll be a spectator crossing staffed with volunteers to let you in and out for bike check-in. For the finish line, water and Gatorade will be provided by volunteers. Also, medical support will be available. Finisher medals will also be available, and all of this will be provided by volunteers and staff at the finish line. Post-race food will take place in the Harriet Island Pavilion, where your packet pickup was, and this will be provided by Buca de Pepo. Results and penalties will also be posted near the volunteer info tent, which is located on the east side of transition. And then also individual result printouts will also be available at this time. The award ceremony, I touched on this a little bit earlier, just to give you some more detailed information. This will take place at the St. Paul River Center Exhibit Hall A from 4:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's located at 175 West Kellogg Boulevard. It's about a half a mile from the Embassy Suites. Standard distance awards will be handed out in places 1 through 5, sprint distance places 1 through 3, and then para duathlon places 1 through 3. And we will also have a King and Queen of the Hill award. Before I had touched on the Ohio Hill ascent on the bike course. So we will have a timing mat at the bottom of Ohio Hill and then at the top. And we're going to record the summation of all athletes' laps going up that hill. So whoever has the quickest climb on that hill will be crowned the king or queen of the hill for that stretch of the bike course. So some general Team USA information. First off, for the sprint distance, the sprint draft legal qualifier will take place in Clermont, Florida on November 8th, 2015. Registration is not up yet for this, but it has been confirmed that this will be the location and the date for the qualifier. 8 spots will be reserved in each age group in St. Paul, and then 10 spots will be reserved in Clermont. If all 10 spots are not reserved at the Clermont race, they will be filled and rolled down from the St. Paul race. The Worlds location for 2016 for Duathlon Worlds has not been determined yet. We hope to have that information in the coming months from the ITU. For standard, all athletes are eligible for Team USA, and this is the only qualifying race for the standard distance Team USA. All the top 18 athletes in each age group will be available for Team USA in the standard distance. All athletes for both sprint and standard distance need to attend the award ceremony to claim their spot for either the sprint or standard distance. For complete information, please visit our event website, FAQ section for the draft legal qualifier, and our info tab for more Team USA information. Special thanks to all of our partners and sponsors and people who have helped with the production of this race. Trisports, Gear West for bike support, Visit St. Paul, Chris Swarthout for the Midwest region, the City of St. Paul Police, St. Paul Fire and EMS, Dakota County Sheriff's John Grant, Minnesota Department of Transportation, the Embassy Suites for our host hotel, Green Mill and Buca de Pepo for our staff, volunteer, and athlete food. Special thanks to Kate Fry at Harriet Island, Dr. John Odom and his medical staff for providing medical support on the course and finish line, Mayor Christopher B. Coleman and staff, and then Margot Zwebert and Jamie Hendrickson from the City of St. Paul for assisting with the production of the race. And then one other note, USA Triathlon and Visit St. Paul has partnered once again with the Listening House to get donations of unwanted sneakers during our Duathlon National Championships. Any donated shoes will be given to the Listening House of St. Paul, a day evening shelter and community resource center that provides hospitality, practical assistance, and counsel to people who are homeless, disadvantaged, or lonely. We will have a bin located by the volunteer info tent on site for athletes or spectators or family members to donate any used or unwanted running or athletic shoes. All of these shoes will be given to the Listening House as part of our partnership and as part of a charitable donation. And a special thanks to our goal level sponsors as well, Active, Rudy Project, Gatorade, Tier, Quintana Roo, and Lightspeed. If you do have any additional questions after this webinar, you can send questions and concerns to nationalevents@usatriathlon.org, and we'll be able to answer all those for you. Thank you again for watching. I hope this was very helpful. Just a couple of notes. There is no limit on watching this, so this will be posted on our website. It will play at Packet Pickup at the Harriet Island Pavilion. So please watch this as many times as you feel necessary to gain the necessary information that you'll need for race day. Thanks everyone, and have a good race.